Alright, welcome back. So we got one down with the buttons and labels, good for us. Let's go ahead and do touches next. This one's actually going to be really short. I always welcome things that are really short. So the first thing we wanted to do with that touches area is we wanted to bring in an image. So the way we're going to bring in an image is we're going to use this new images assets area, and we're just going to drop it from Finder into this area. So I'm going to go find that file. I'm sure I've got it saved somewhere on my computer, and I'm just going to drag it in. So here it is. It's just a Rose logo, and I'm just going to drop it right into there. So now I've got access to that file from inside my project, which is really kind of nice. Now what I want to do is I want to go add it to my storyboard. So the way you add an image into a scene is that you actually add an image view. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to search for UI image view, and then I'm just going to drop it on here. It defaults to want to be gigantic, which is good for it. I'm going to make it smaller. And so you can see that right now it's a very large R, which is not my goal. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to hit Command equals. It's going to move it to a spot which is off the screen, which is fine. I'll just move it to 0, 0. And to be honest, I don't really care where it starts. The only thing I want to be able to do is I want to make sure that I've got a connection to it from inside my code. So I right click, I drag over, and I just make a logo image view connection. So that looks like a good thing to do. Once I've got my connection made, I'm actually done with my storyboard, and I can do everything else in code, right? So I've got a connection to that image view. So what I want to do in my code is I want to be listening for touches. There's a couple of different touches, one of which is touches began, touches moved, touches ended, and then touches canceled, right? The view actually gets these first, but assuming he doesn't do anything with it, they come to the view controller. So we're just going to override touches began, and then that way our view controller will hear whenever the user touches the screen. The way this works is we're actually going to create a connection to a touch. Since it's not going to change, I'm going to use the keyword let instead of the keyword var, just because the touch is not going to change. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to say touches, give me any object. Any object returns an any object, which is kind of the most generic type of object. I guess there's also any. And then what we want to do is we want to typecast it to be a UI touch. You'll notice that Swift is actually strongly typed, but anytime it can infer the type, you don't have to type it yourself, which is kind of nice. And then what I want to do is I want to just set the center of that logo image view to be wherever the touch location within view is set to. So wherever the touch's location is, I want to set the image view to be centered at the same spot. If you're really sharp though, you might remember that instead of snapping to the location, in the preview it actually kind of animated there, so it kind of smoothly scrolled there. So we're going to go add that as well. But you can see that with this very small amount of code, you've got a thing that it actually would work like in your hand if you touch the screen. It is a little bit more fun to actually get a device, but I'm not going to show in this video how you can set up talking with a device. You do have to be a paid member of the developer program to actually talk with a device. So that's kind of a little bit annoying, but what you're going to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to animate it. There's a number of ways you can animate it. I'm going to use a class method on UI view called begin animations. You can give it a name if you would like, but I don't need to. You can also give it a context if you would like, but again, I don't need to. After you begin animations, you then later commit animations, and with those two simple lines, we're actually going to start getting an animated logo as it moves around the screen, which is kind of neat. So that's actually it for touches. So it worked out nice that we'd kind of like set up the view controller in the last video, and really all we had to do is we had to get a touch, we had to set the center of the image view, and then to animate it we had to say begin and commit. Now, like I say, there are a number of ways to do animations, but that was an easy way that I choose to do here. Come back next time and we'll show you how to make the table view controller.